Hi, this video is going to have a lot of stuff in it, so I didn't really know what to call it, so I figured I'd call it a video live stream review of the movies that I list there. I may end up talking about some other movies, and I wish I could, stretch out the title a little bit more and call it exactly what it is, because we're going to do some movie news discussion, and we may have some people joining us in the chat for the live stream and everything like that. So, possibly Lorne or Orc from the Sausage Factory, or who knows, maybe some others. Um, so that will be quite exciting. And I just watched the Collider News show, a movie news show. That's I wish I could be on board or have known these Avengers movies. They all seem so excited about them. All are talking about how they were waking up early and they couldn't get the tickets and all this stuff. I just have no degree of excitement for these films. When I have watched them, I literally don't understand them. Um, having worked as a scientist in the past, I don't know what that says. I don't know. Maybe I just need to concentrate more during them. I don't know. I played the Marvel Superheroes game by TSR, a game by Dungeons and Dragons, same makers. So I'm very familiar with those characters, be it Nightcrawler, be it Iron Man, be it Puck, be it Iceman, be it Box, be it you name it from that game, right? So I don't really relate to them in terms of a comic book world or comic book movies. I'm more like um, think of them as real, I guess you would say, from the game, because they actually become seemingly real as you're playing. So seeing them brought to life in this very artificial way, let's just be honest. Sure, some of the costumes and stuff looks good for the characters, but they're not exactly who I would imagine to play these characters. In fact, Iron Man was actually my favorite character in the 80s and 90s when I was playing this particular game that I'm mentioning. I would choose to be him quite often when simulating or doing these different long form games. I would choose Submariner at times. I would choose Iceman. I would choose Shaman. I would choose Wolverine. I would choose Colossus. I would choose Cyclops. I would choose a variety of the different characters. But mainly, I feel uh, that the depictions in these Marvel movies of these characters I've never related to. Uh, I'm hit and miss in the ones I've seen. Iron Man 1 and 2, I didn't really like. I mean, I went and saw Iron Man and was pretty much bored out of my mind. I like some of the scenes. I actually like the trailer better than the movie. Iron Man 2 was a real disappointment. Just to call it like it is. I don't know how people can draw it out and say anything different. I hear people quoting the movie at times or, referencing Mickey Rourke's performance and stuff. It's a performance. I'll leave it at that. Captain America 1, I really, really enjoyed, and Captain America 2, I really, really enjoyed. Not enough to care to watch any of the movies that followed up. I mean, I didn't say I love them. I'd say I really, really enjoyed them for what they were. They weren't necessarily standalone in my mind, but I guess Captain America 1 leads into a lot of other information, but it is kind of standalone in that it's the absolute first in the series chronologically. Hmm? So then, there hadn't been a female comic book one, and I just found that to be very odd. And I guess they're making Black Widow after this phase is done. I've never much been into this idea of these phases and how they keep referring to them as phases as if it's a real estate scheme of some kind. So, of course, this video has a different title. I'm going to get to those movie reviews eventually. But there's only 60 characters I could put in the movie description or the title description. And I wanted to cover basically what I've seen and experienced there today. And watching the Collider movie news, they're really, I mean, they're not artificially excited. Perry Nemiroff's artificially excited because she's artificially acting like she's on her game. And, Mark Ellis stepping down was the biggest blow to that show's credibility that's ever happened. I mean, she's so much better as a guest than a host. Let me say that again. She's so much better as a guest or a panelist than a host. It's not even funny. As a guest, she comes across as knowing and incisive, insightful, uh, cutting. But as a host, she comes across as shrill and one-upman and braggadocious about seeing movies a month before others. I can't tell you how many times she's pissed off people on the panel, and the panel is just sitting there barely even like tolerating it. So they look at her as she prattles on and does her stuff. It's not working, and they clearly have not bought in, because since she's been hosting, she keeps poo-pooing the idea that she's the permanent new host, and they're obviously poo-pooing the idea because there hasn't been a press conference or a formal announcement. And you got Mark Fernandez, who's a very irresponsible owner of the station, and everyone backbiting around him all the time. Since Campia left, there's been a real weird dynamic going on behind the scenes there at Collider. Having worked as a source for them and a lot of other different things behind the scenes in the past, it's interesting to know what I know, and then see it kind of play out and continue getting information from sources there. And I do want to say thank you to Dennis out there. He's always been a good pal. And of course, John Schnapp, as I'm sure many of you know, that I was pretty good friends with him. He literally would buy me coffee like almost 2 or 3 times a week. He would be taking an Uber. And it was that far out of his way, but it was pretty far out. It was, a mile or two out of his way when he's trying to get to time on Collider or get there on time. Just because I helped him on camera so much that is the timing. I met him around 2011 or 2012 as he was just kind of getting into the movie news and that whole sphere. And obviously, me working in radio and TV for years, he met me and he's like, "Whoa, I've never actually seen someone that's is knowledgeable about different things that's not an actual pro at what he's doing." And I'm completely acknowledged. I've never been a pro at any of the stuff I've ever done. I just worked really hard and booked myself on more radio and TV appearances, and assumed different performance names and all sorts of stuff in the syndicated radio and television market. So as far as the Marvel movies go, I give them all the credit in the world. They've managed to not only enwrap all of Middle America, but clearly all these big coastal liberal cities as well. I mean, what can unite all of these people together? And it's clearly the Marvel movies. I mean, I'm one of the people that adjust box office for inflation. Let's just say it makes $289 million or $268 million opening weekend. That would be like a low projection at this point based on all the new sales records it's making right now. All right, $268 at about $10 a ticket. That's basically, let's just say 27 million people seeing that. If that was about a 5 million, so you do the math, it's setting records for old school movies, like blowing up what a big opening would be in the 2000s or anything like that. So that's pretty impressive. Let's see who's joined us here in the chat. I have a chap named Joseph Lancaster. Joseph, how you doing out there? Where are you living at, and what you up to? What's your story? How you doing out there today, Joseph? Go ahead and reply as soon as possible. Thanks for your participation in the channel, be it whatever you're doing out there. So yeah, what's going on out there, Mr. Joseph Lancaster? Where do you live and where are you from? What's your story? Do you live in Lancaster? Have you ever been to Lancaster? Very interesting name you got there, Buddo. So anyway, as far as the Marvel movies go, we'll see if that opens. My prediction, as odd as this may seem, is it's not going to do. I say it will do incrementally better than Infinity War internationally opening weekend, but it won't like smash those records. Like I say, it's probably going to make 20 to 25 million more domestically than Infinity War opening weekend, but maybe only that much internationally. So 25 million more internationally really is not that much, because if it opens at, well, let's just say 700 and something million, the last one did, I believe, and this one would probably open at close to 8. So what's going on, Joseph? You fall asleep out there, bud? Any comments for the live chat? Sorry for the technical difficulties there. So Joseph Lancaster, you've identified yourself as being there in the chat. Why don't you tell me some of the movies you're looking forward to this weekend? Are you going to watch Shazam? Are you the type of individual that's going to go watch Shazam in theaters opening weekend? Or are you more the type of individual that's going to go watch Pet Sematary? What kind of individual are you? Or are you choosing to see something that's been in release a couple weeks, like Unplanned or Run the Race? Are you one of more of the family values type people? Or are you going to choose to see a hit like Us, Captain Marvel, or perhaps How to Train Your Dragon on its last days, or even Medea Family Funeral? Anyway, so who's here in the chat? We got Joseph Lancaster saying hello, but nothing more. So you still there out there, Joe? Joey boy? All right. So that's about the Marvel movies. Like I said, I can't manufacture the excitement for something like that. Oh, we got someone saying take the meds. Well, let's go ahead and identify who this chap is. This is a chap that's going to be reported for his hate speech and graphic violence. And thanks, they've received the report, Joseph. And if we find this content to be in violation, we will remove it. Okay. Your message has been reported. So what's going on out there, Joseph? Little Joey boy. All right, let's get back to this blocking of this individual. We don't like that comment. Take your meds. And remove that comment. And we're going to... Oh, whoops. Now, what was this? More comments by these fools. Hey, this one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I love dogs. That's right. Report. Harassment or bullying, basically. Why don't you come out here, little punko boy? This is harassing me. Oh yes, it's harassing me. Report Joseph Lancaster. Hey, Joseph. What's going on, buddy? I'm so alone? Oh, yes, indeed. I am absolutely alone and loving it. I'm in love with my loneliness, sir. By the way, man, what's up with you? Joey Boy L. Sorry, everybody. We're having a invasion by someone named Joseph Lancaster here. Let's go ahead and get involved here further. Actually, I went out with some friends earlier. I don't really know. My son hates me. Oh, wow. So Paul Kersey and Joseph Lancaster That's cool. Do you have any children, Joseph Lancaster? What's your relationship with him? I'm sorry I'm so amused by you. I find it very amusing. I'm the only one here, you nutcase. Oh, absolutely, I'm nuts. I love it. So, what's your favorite movie, Joseph? What's your favorite movie, Joseph? See, I can make my voice as deep as I want, sir, but I kind of like slurring you with my voice. It's enjoyable. Oh yeah, I got lots of them voices up in my head, boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna remove. Oh no. I don't want to remove your message. I want to remove uh put user in timeout. I just gotta hide user. You can just watch me, little bitch boy. And how about that? You can just keep on watching, bitch boy, and you can thumbs down or thumbs up all you want, little bitch boy. Let's see. And I'll check on your messages when I feel like it. I find you really amusing, dude. There we go. So have you seen any of the movies that I've profiled here on the chat? We're going to be doing a Siskel and Ebert style show without, of course, Ebert here. All messages of chat are visible. Oh, but you've been removed, though, good sir. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had to remove you, Joseph Lancaster, because I was actually doing a live stream, and then you started saying something about my son and all this. So you're a sausage factory participant, aren't you? You like my great detective skills? How about I burn you, bitch? Hey, there you go. Want some fire, you little fucking faggot? I love gay people. I like they use that word as a slur, so I have no problem using it as a slur as well. You punk ass bitch. How do you like it? You've been silenced. Let me go. Let me see what you've been trying to channel in with. This will be amusing. Let's go ahead and read back some of your chat. some top chat. Yeah. Go ahead and show me your most vile messages, little bitch boy. Hide all the chat messages. No, unfortunately, I'm not going to hide all chat messages. I want to see all messages visible. Oh, but unfortunately, you're not available. You're not eligible for that. I'm pointing at you. I'm pointing at you because you're pathetic. Boom, bitch boy. There you go. Look at my finger. It's a finger of a man. Put that up your ass, bitch. So yeah, like I was saying, I can't manufacture the excitement for the Marvel movies. I don't really know what Marvel movie is next beyond these next ones. I have to see. I'm quite interested. You know what's interesting also is this Invader, this Joseph Lancaster, whoever the chap is from Sausage Factory. That's an attempted troll. I don't even know what you would call it. Because he used a racial slur. That fucking amuses the shit out of me, dude. He used a racial slur in my chat with his like fake name or real identity. Do you know what I do to racists? I can send you some photos. It ain't kind, man. And I don't let people use that word, dude. Do you want to know like some information? Go ahead and I'll bring in some people that are that word, and they can come and do some things to you, bud. How about that kind of thing that a chap like you would be into? I'm sure. Not that I judge, or not that I say that that's even bad. I'm just saying that I know you would be into that on the like very deplorable type level of being that you think it's so wrong because you're such a deplorable little bitch that you're in like denial about it, so you may as well get the worst end of something because you know this has been a really fun little invasion by this dude. So yeah, every time I'm talking about Marvel movies and stuff, I bounce back to this little punk bitch, and it's pretty fun. Got no problem with it. So let's see if I can see more of his chat messages. How can I unblock you? I want to see what you're writing. I'm curious. Some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. I guess that's what you are. Oh, I'm so sorry. I really am. Sorry we can't be friends. All right. Let me get back on track. All right. I could bring a couple friends over here too if you want. They would just think it's really weird that I'm even like talking to you all. They'd be like, "What? You're doing a YouTube movie stream?" So yeah, I don't really want to waste their time. I'm not really wasting my time. I'm talking about what I want to be talking about right now. I just Joseph Lancaster joined me. So go back to your truck and go fuck, bitch. Yeah, you fucked off because you're a fucking dumbass. All right, back to the situation here is that I really enjoy um, a good superhero movie. I think I prefer them when they're in their own universe or not connected to anything else. Like we'll see how connected Aquaman is to other stuff, and I guess Aquaman was connected to a bunch of old movies that I never cared to see. So I like all sorts of combinations of the thing. I mean, if it's they're too interconnected, I find them very difficult to follow. Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny. One thing this dude said, he said, "My son hates me." Just Lancaster probably looks like this. Hi, and Dr. Lancaster. Welcome to my world of being Dr. Lancaster. Joseph Lancaster, are you going to be seeing Avengers opening weekend? Opening night? Bet you Joseph Lancaster's punk ass bitch ass is going to be at that theater opening night. He's probably the punk ass bitch that's like trying to buy the theater up. But he can't because he don't have good shit. He don't got good shit to say. He ain't got no game. Hey Joseph, do you got game? Hey troll out there. Do you got game? Or is that why you go on this stuff? I'm wondering. Can you make a child? Do you know how to make a child? No. You haven't made a child yet, have you? I find that to be jarring. You being a grown man having not made a child? Far be it from me to cast aspersions. Far be it from me to cast aspersions. But maybe get a rope and sling it around your... What's that thing called? That thing. And then find a tree and then hire someone to hang you? That's probably the best way. So then your mom can get, her meds. Right? Isn't that what most is important, Mr. Lancaster? That your mom is medicated? Really now? Isn't that most important to you and everyone? I don't know. Do you like how some of my hair is turning blonde as I'm getting older? Are you a fan of that? Yeah. Hope you like that, Joseph Lancaster. Whoever else. This individual from the sausage factory that is participating in the live stream for an autistic person and then taking information from that and then saying my son hates me. That kind of individual. That particular individual. Who is he and where? So anyway, yeah, the Joker trailer. I'm pretty much done with the Marvel Avengers movie. You know, it will either make over 300 million opening weekend or it won't. If it makes over 300 million opening weekend, it will be extremely impressive. It will set every basically Thursday to Sunday record of all time. It will set the next Monday's record as well. It will set the next Tuesday's record as well. Marvel's going to want to restart and regenerate a whole new cinematic universe, basically. Maybe carry over some stuff from quote unquote phase 1 into phase 2. I hope I'm getting my phases right. I don't really like the whole terminology. Yeah, it's all a business, but I don't really like referring to all that stuff as phases. You know, maybe one day if I have a lot of time and I even want to watch Spider-Man Homecoming, and hey, maybe I'll even rewatch one of the Hulks, or what is that? The Hulk is part of the MCU. That's what's so odd. And also, Iron Man was made by Paramount, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Disney whole deal with Marvel, that really changed things quite a deal, quite a lot. Dang, that's an understatement. But yeah, getting to DC. I mean, they brought up on Collider. Oh, we have. Oh yes. My love of animals was called into question by Joseph Lancaster as well. I believe he called me a HOMO dog animal lover, as if like animal lovers are any particular sexuality. You can call me whatever you want, my good friend. As long as you tune in, I'm totally fine with that. Let's just be damn honest, dude. I think it's amusing that you're watching my videos and stuff like that. So it's totally fine with me. You can call me whatever you want, dude. Seriously. Welcome to it and keep tuning in. But anyway, the Joker poster came out. And it's a chap looking up like that, and he's got blood on his face, and obviously the Joker mask, art. Why are you not tuned in right now, though? You should be tuned in the entire time, young man. Until you're tuned in every minute, every day, every live cast stream that I do. The world that you live in will be full of suffering. Until you tune in every moment of every time I'm on the live stream, I'm going to monopolize your asshole. So anyway, yeah, the Joker poster, he's looking up like this chap, Joaquin Phoenix. So, not sure what to make of it. It has some tagline I didn't find to be too memorable. It's a green and bluish haze type background. It's promising a trailer to be released tomorrow. And these chaps were discussing if they think the trailer will go in front of Shazam or if it will go in front of what's the movie, Pet Sematary. And it's quite a shame if it's they're going to reveal too much that they can't get it in front of Shazam. I tend to agree with Coy Jandreau when he says they should cut a really non-revealing teaser that doesn't show too much craziness in case it ends up getting R. Just give a glimpse and then enough that it can play in front of Shazam. And they're all saying Shazam is darker than everyone's been saying. Because I swear, I saw part of it, and I thought it was I was in the wrong movie. Oh, I thought I was in the wrong movie. So I definitely feel that that's an element of it all. I'm so sorry. Someone was calling me lonely earlier. That was actually the opposite of that. I was out earlier. I went to brunch with some friends, so pardon me if I'm a little exhausted. I took my son to the theater to go pick up Avengers tickets for himself. So was that a good parental decision? I'm second guessing that now. Do you think that let's have you vote in the next video or something? Do you think it's a good idea that I bought my son Avengers tickets? Leave it up for discussion. Joker Joker poster. Um, yeah, I have nothing really to say except until I see like a full fleshed out trailer on it, and really excited that my man Joaquin is playing that though. He's one of my favorite actors. The Lords of Dogtown. Go ahead out there and let me know if you've seen it anywhere on there. I asked Jeremy and Tiz today if they'd ever seen it, and they said no. I figured it was an interesting movie to review. An actor by Victor Razuk, I think from a movie called Raising Victor Vargas. He was in it, and he played Tony Alba. And to all these individuals out there that troll and dislike my videos or whatever the hell, I'm sure you guys don't have a life enough to know who these people are that I'm going to be mentioning. So feel free to Google them, because I'm not really going to explain too much. I'm just going to take it for granted that most people of a certain social life or vernacular should know who these people are if they're not punk ass frauds. But he played Tony Alva, and Emil Hirsch played Jay Adams. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Lords of Dogtown is a skateboarding and skateboarding mainly, movie, but has to do with the surf and skateboarding culture of Venice Beach, where I grew up. So I, had a lot of knowledge firsthand about the making of this movie and the stories about it. Very good friends with Jay Adams' son, Seven, and some other individuals on all sides of the law related to the story. And rest in peace, Jay. He's a good friend of mine as well. That's pretty good. And yeah, that's just slushy right there. I'm not even drunk. I just roll hard, bitch. Lords of Dogtown. Also stars, what's her name? Nikki Reed. And she's my least favorite part of the movie. The movie's directed by Catherine Hardwicke. I would have preferred perhaps Catherine Bigelow to direct it, but I guess she was a little too busy at the time. Maybe she was prepping to make The Hurt Locker. I'm not sure. But Catherine Hardwicke, she made 13, which starred Nikki Reed and was, I guess, written by Nikki Reed or inspired from Nikki Reed's life, something like that. And then I don't think she made another movie after 13. I'm pretty sure that Lords of Dogtown is her follow-up to that. And Lords of Dogtown made less than 10 million opening weekend, so obviously you've never heard of it. Speaking generally, most people haven't really heard of it or seen it in theaters. But not only did I hear of it, I've seen it in theaters, and I've lived part of its life from it. If that makes any sense. um, so another actor in it who I think is a little bit underused in movies. It's kind of nothing parts, and this one is kind of a nothing part as well. You see the movie through this character's eyes. He plays Stacy Peralta, who Stacy Peralta wrote or made the documentary Dogtown and Z Boys, for which Lords of Dogtown got most of its stories. But John Robinson's in the first Transformers movie as well as the friend. I don't know if he's in Transformers 2. That's what I was thinking for a minute. But John Robinson's in it. Tony Alva is portrayed by Victor Razik. And this is a mutual biopic, I guess you would call it. A biography film about Heath Ledger's character, who, the real guy that's based on. He's still, to this day, a pretty good friend of mine. And God bless him, though. He's about 400 pounds at this point. So the times when, Heath Ledger and him were hanging out and researching for the role, those were obviously some, really good times. And, he was in a little bit better shape at that point. But hey, that's how things go. Everyone else that's in the film that I haven't mentioned, I'm not really leaving off much in terms of how much screen time they have, and how good they are in it. A lot of people seem like they're kind of filling the background on a TV movie on it. All this being said, level of artificiality in the movie being there, but not being omnipresent, the movie is very recommendable and very by the numbers, I guess you would say, but yet still able to hold your interest as each character is so different, and you get to know, how gangs have affected Jay Adams, how being kind of mixed descent has made Stacy Peralta kind of go a different direction. How Tony Alva was kind of like, for lack of a better term, like a Michael Jordan of it all, but couldn't really handle himself, nor all the promotional opportunities. So these are stories that, schmagegs that come and try to wrestle up the apple cart here in the great barbecue network. Schmagegs like that have no clue who these G's were or what their G-ass story was or anything like that. Hey, Lauren, how you doing, bud? Thanks for visiting. I had someone named Joseph Lancaster and also another individual named Paul Kersey who were in the Sausage Factory or Pizzawell's chat with me, and then they kept coming on to my chat a minute ago, and they started to say negative things about my son and all sorts of entertaining stuff. So I was discussing how I can't manufacture a level of excitement for these Marvel movies. I don't know about you, but I spent the first maybe 15 minutes talking about the Marvel movies and how, and thank you very much for joining me here, Lauren. Glad to have you on board. How I can't manufacture a level of excitement for these Marvel movies. I was just watching this movie news show on Collider, and they're talking a million miles a minute about, all the money that it's going to make and how excited they are and all their pretty much inane theories and all this. And, I like the Marvel characters basically because I played a Dungeon Dragons style TSR game, and it became, really a good way to familiarizing myself with all these characters. So, Can't manufacture the level of excitement for these Marvel movies, and I'm excited to talk about them. I talked briefly about the DC poster, about the Joker, and then I started reviewing a movie called Lords of Dogtown. Let me guess, you probably haven't seen it, but you might have heard of it before. Is that right? Usually, most people haven't really seen Lords of Dogtown. I was gonna review Lords of Salem, but I figure, okay, cool, nice. Well, that's nice, man. Glad to have you on board. I really like the interaction with the trolls, though, to be honest. I really, really do. Especially, I like just live streaming as they join and, you know, just emasculating and humiliating them and stuff like that. But I'm not really into anything like that. It's not even like someone has to be, what's the word? Um, one way or the other in any way. But it is fun to just kind of clown on individuals that come in here when I'm doing a live stream. I can't troll with a damn, so I'll disappoint. Oh no, no problem. Thank you so much, man. Glad for just the normal interaction as well. So yeah, I'll basically cut my Lords of Dogtown review there because I don't want to. It's not like I'm going to be spoiling anything about it. It's a pretty much by the book mutual biopic of a lot of skateboarders and people that I knew about and knew of growing up in Venice Beach. And it's about Emil Hirsch's character. He gets affected by gangs, gang violence. In fact, when I met him in 2002 or so, he had just been locked up. And then he's dead now for a little while now. His son now lives in Hawaii, and there's a lot more going on to preserve his legacy. And they should probably just make a biopic about Jay Adams himself. But that being said, this is for the most part a mainly Jay Adams centric story with a little bit of biography about the Stacy Peralta character. And Stacy Peralta is now like a pretty well-known documentarian about various subjects, but he's covered surfing and skateboarding. One movie called Riding Giants, and another one called Dogtown and Z-Boys, for which Lords of Dogtown is based. Victor Razik is in it, and he's kind of an interesting character actor. He plays Tony Alva. So again, just reviewing. If it had been maybe a little bit sharply more directed by Catherine Hardwicke, I was thinking maybe even Catherine Bigelow would have been a good choice, but you never know. She may have not been able to do the material as well. There's some really, really technically difficult shots, and obviously the skateboarding and stuff in it, pretty amazing. So, Lauren, how you doing today? How was your day at work? I luckily worked for a couple days and then don't work today, so I just had a wonderful day. One of the trolls was saying that I'm a very lonely individual, and I'm sick in the head and all this stuff, and it was completely amusing me. Went out to brunch earlier. I mean, nothing could be further from the truth, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Or if it is the truth, I don't care, So, went out and had a great brunch earlier. A good fried chicken sandwich was a part of that. So I'm always interested being here in the South to try different fried chicken. Sorry for the chicken, but it was pretty good. And played basketball for a couple hours, and just went to a baseball game because there's a baseball place right behind the stadium here. Work was all right, nothing hurt. Oh, good, man. I gotta say, man, my work day yesterday was crazy, man. It's basically like Game of Thrones stuff going on there. Everyone's trying to take over. I mean, some people from my work participate in the live stream sometimes, but just kind of say there is blood in the water, and one of the situations going on there. We'll have to see how it plays out. So it's totally weird, an interesting situation where you got people that are above who the main honcho is coming in and asking the underlings what actually has been going on lately, and if it has to do with bullying and yelling and all sorts of stuff that goes on. It's a pretty crazy work environment, to be honest. Um, and I think there might be some Me Too stuff going on. I don't know, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. But let's see. You say it was nothing much going on over there. Workers are all right. All right, that's cool. Yeah, and regarding the book, you got to look through like your bibliography a little bit and pick out which one. But I think it's hit with any of them. I try to send you something too. A lot of my work's online though for free, so I can send you some links. I don't really have any DVDs of it made up. I've never really tried to make too much money off of what I've done. I just tried to like do it and live it for the experience and try to make money and other stuff, because if I've ever made money hand over fist in the TV, radio, news business doing it, like I think I'd maybe be someone a little bit more Jeopardy in my life, because some of the stuff I've done in TV, radio, and news and rigging all, creating content for these shows, some people don't want out there, and dark forces have talked to me about it in the past. So, I'm kind of glad I didn't get, millions and millions for it all, and I just work hard every day. It's, there's a lot of honor and dignity in that. Let's see these titles. Blue Eel or Bleak December, the two most recent. Sweet. Yeah, man, I'm really cool. I'm really excited about that. AIRR. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So our friend Lauren out there is in the chat, and he is excited to see this new Indian horror movie, A-Ra. A-Ray. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. Pet Cemetery. To be honest, I'd be interested in seeing if it had a different male lead. I don't know. I'm kind of one of these people that the leads in a movie is still important to me. I'm not just going to see someone in it who I think can't act, and being able to act and have had ability and training in acting. There's not anything I dislike more than seeing Jason Clarke in movies. He spells his name JASONCLARKE. And if you see his name anywhere on a billboard, walk away. Walk away from the theater. He was in Winchester House or whatever the fuck that was called with Helen Mirren, and it was so bad. He has been in so many movies. It's really embarrassing how many good movies he's been in, and he's like literally the worst part of every movie he's in. And there's some of the movies are still good, which is it's kind of sad actually. He was in Zero Dark 30. He was horrible in that. That was a good movie. I mean, not like the best in the whole world, but a good movie. I enjoyed watching it. I remember watching it for what it's worth. Then there's just like a black hole of movies that Jason Clarke's been in. I guess I should probably just do a video on my like realistic hatred for the guy. I mean, I don't want to be over. I'll maybe meet him one day, but if I do meet him and he's not like extremely nice or courteous, and let's say he's arrogant or whatever, but like, bro, you suck in movies. Like straight up, man. Like the part where he's all screaming when the girl gets killed in the trailer, it's like, yo, dude, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see this inauthentic fuck in another movie. But anyway, I mean, being slightly facetious about it all. I probably will see it. I do see most of these movies. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Shining 2, it was moved up from January to November, and we're not getting no buzz for it, man. I'm not understanding what's going on. I'm like literally the only one that even knows about it, kind of. Like a lot of my friends don't follow this shit at all. And like they know about Pet Cemetery because it's right in front of them. They know about it too because obviously they're whatever. And Curse of Llorona and Child's Play and every other horror movie coming out this year, but none of them are talking about the Shining 2. So I wanted to ask you, Lauren, do you know anything about the production of it? Do you know anything about it beyond that it's coming out in November? Right. It's a sequel to The Shining, not to the movie. Exactly. That's what my mind is not computing with how big of a property it could be, but yet they're not able to navigate what you just pointed out through the promotion and through anything yet. Not any quotes from Mike Flanagan. Oh yeah. Not any quotes from Rebecca Ferguson. Not any quotes from Ewan McGregor about that unique challenge of what it's like to play Danny Torrance for the first time on the big screen, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, not the little schmageg Danny Torrance and not the depiction of Kubrick's Danny Torrance, but a quote unquote Stephen King. Let's call him Sting from now on. Stephen King, Mike Flanagan merged world, which is, let's be honest, way more headed towards the Stephen King route. Right? Who's Mike Flanagan? What, some guy that's made another Stephen King movie? Stephen King basically has gotten some lackeys doing some of his work lately. I'm not going to be mean about it, but they're not exactly the hardest edge visionary filmmaker like Kubrick. So I very much agree with those points you just said, and I'm wondering how, as a PR point of view, do they just go over the top saying from the sequel, the long-awaited sequel to The Shining, and like confuse the fuck out of people? Or did the movie make compromises, and is Stephen King kind of a hypocrite, and is the movie going to be with a lot more references to how the movie version was, like even flash scenes in of the two twins in the hallway, stuff like that doesn't even belong in Doctor Sleep? I'm thinking that might happen. Yeah, it's not really a sequel, but like it's the same character, so like literally it is, but like, yeah, I hear you on that though, for sure. And having read the book and listen to the audiobook, it's something that you kind of want to cut out of your head once you hear about it all. And I won't even say they're psychic vampires. They're basically, it's a cult that thrives off of psychic energy. So yeah, vampiric in a way. But yeah, the child sex ring thing, and the native tribe aspect. So yeah, you're right. I mean, that's pretty good. That's not an inaccurate description. That's definitely how it will be, quickly commoditized, I think, but as that's even described, that's not a good commodity. So yeah, I think we're probably on the same page here that this movie, I'm not seeing much buzz for Pet Sematary this weekend either. So I'm saying Shazam is going to open around 68 million, no, 64 million domestic. I say Pet Sematary is going to open at 32 million. And I say, without looking, I don't even know what the third movie is right now. I'm pretty sure there's a third release. So that's 68 million or 64 million for Shazam, and then 32 million for Pet Sematary. I might look in the comment, or I might much higher than that. Yeah, how much? You think like 45? Because I could see it going as high as 45, but like, not that competing with us week 3 is anything to be reckoned with, but there's still a market. Yeah, 42 million, and then second weekend 60% drop. Of course. Well, I think for sure that's going to happen because April 13th or April 12th, without, looking at every movie, I know there's a big family movie coming out. Not that that's going to cut into it, but that's like a big opener. A comedy that's going to take away some of the like urban audience called Little, which is probably, it's going to be extremely front loaded. Yeah, it's going to be extremely front loaded. But I'm just wondering about this. If anyone else feels how I feel about Jason Clarke, but I don't think they feel like it enough to not see the movie. And also, I think I mean, if they got all weirded out by how it revealed stuff on the trailer, that I think they're gonna show up. Now let's do the math here, Lauren. That's an interesting idea. Pet Cemetery 1, I think, opened around, things were so different back then, but like 11 million, if I'm not mistaken. Tickets being around $3 or $4. Let's just say it sold 3 million tickets opening weekend. So if what's it called opens around 42, that'll be more like 5 million tickets. Hey, Hannah, this is a person from work. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Hey. So we're talking about the movie opening weekend, how much money some of this stuff's going to make. Shazam, I picked out would make 64 million, and then we got a guy named Lauren. Lauren is an author, and Lauren is a member of a group called the Sausage Factory. Oh, what an honor to have you joining me. Thank you so much. And we're just predicting how much money things will make and for this weekend. I'm thinking he's saying around 42 million for Pet Cemetery. I said 34. I'm now going to split the difference and go maybe like 37 or 38 for me. So yeah, thank you so much, Lauren. It was great to participate. Let's see what Hannah is this really maybe it's just someone with the same name. It's not exactly the most foreign, or I don't know. Well, identify yourself. But anyway, that's really cool. I think in the description of the video, this is her. Hey, cool. What's up? Welcome. Yeah, in this description of the video, I was going to review another movie, and it's called The TV Set. This stars David Duchovny and Sigourney Weaver from the Alien movies. And this is rare. Usually I review movies that I like, but I didn't like this movie. And actually I have the DVD over there. I got it very reasonable. It has a lot of special features and information on the making of the movie, but I found it to be a very pretentious exercise, this film. Judd Apatow had written it, I think, around the time before Knocked Up and before 40-Year-Old Virgin and before, or, right around that time. His career hadn't been at a certain level as it is, or as it was, I guess. And it's about how he was, when his television show Freaks and Geeks, and also the other one he made with Seth Rogen called Undeclared, they didn't go well. Oh, I'm getting an alert here. Sorry. Back, everybody. I'm back. I hit the wrong button. I'm really sorry, everybody. I got a text and I hit the wrong button. Sorry, I'm really learning how to do all this stuff and dealing with the troll earlier and everything. I guess I got a little confused. So anyway, it's getting a little dark here. I'll turn on the light soon. But I had a wonderful day, as I was saying. I played some basketball earlier. Did I lose some people in the chat? If I did, I'm sorry. I'm back, though. Oh, so sorry. Anyway, so the TV set, I give it a thumbs down. Thumbs down on the TV set. Starred David Duchovny and Sigourney Weaver, among others. I don't name any of the other people because they didn't stand out. I thought their performances were just overly expository, and the movie didn't really go anywhere at all. And I actually disagreed with the David Duchovny character because he was always saying, like, I want to have more control of his TV show. Well, the TV show, as he was doing it, it wouldn't be good, or it wouldn't be what the network wanted, and he's refusing to understand that. So I don't think that that's the dynamic that happened with Judd Apatow. I think he was given a raw deal with NBC and Fox, respectively, at that time. With them, hi Curly Girl. Here's Curly Girl, my puppy. Yeah. I'll go outside soon. I'm gonna go out and walk in a minute. Oh, your baby girl. Yeah. Okay. You want to lie down right there? We're getting some construction done here, so we have to put some things out of this one room into another, so this room's a little more crowded than usual. But hopefully the construction people will get their work done tomorrow, as they're supposed to get it done today. They will be not paid for today's work. So I'm really glad to be doing this. My friend that does a channel, Pizzo Well, he had a live stream earlier that was entertaining. His brother participated in it as well, named Jeremy. I believe Jeremy's autistic. I'm not sure, but always was amusing to interact and see what movies he enjoys. He also has a lot of, his favorite movie is favorite Children of the Corn movies was Part 2. So that's unique. I think a lot of people really do like Children of the Corn 2 more than Children of the Corn 1. I happen to like the third one, I think, the most, but I have the utmost respect for Children of the Corn 2. They took a meandering first entry into the series and made it a very detective-oriented horror film. Now, I say detective, I mean it's a journalist, but he's having to go through a detection process of what exactly these Children of the Corn are up to, you know. So so we give a thumbs down to the TV set movie. I wouldn't recommend it, except if you really want to know more about the television business. And me having done quite a lot of work in the TV and radio business in the past, I found it to be rather condescending and inaccurate, but yet accurate at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense, but not accurate to how everyone's experiences in it, more how Judd Apatow saw his experience as part of like a victimization, I guess. I don't know. I would have thought that he wrote and made the TV set like 1 year after the whole debacle of his show being canceled. But that's probably when he wrote it, and then when it was actually made was 4 or 5 years later. And the movie definitely loses a lot of the energy or whatever he would have felt at that time. That was really cool. I'm glad to have people on board. It seems that we have 3 people in the live chat. So let's ask a question for the group then. You gonna watch any movies this evening or anything like that? Also, let's talk more about Lauren's books. Let's see. Lauren recommended a couple different books that he's written, and they are Blue Eel or Bleak December, 2 of his most recent novels. So Blue Eel. Wow, I'd like to know more about Blue Eel. Eel, of course, I've eaten in the past, but I don't want to really eat eel too much more. Find them to be really magnificent creatures. So a book about a blue eel, that sounds pretty cool, actually. Serpents, eels, all of those creatures that seemingly have evolved from snakes and fish and kind of merged into whatever those are. It's pretty cool. And I guess like the Loch Ness monster could be a really long eel or some kind of dragon-like eel, some kind. I don't really know, but I'm open to learning more. Let me make sure that I hadn't hit no button where the chat is getting blocked out. No, I can see people's chats. There was some troll in here, and I can't see their messages anymore. I wouldn't mind seeing what that troll's messages are like right now. It's because I find it kind of interesting. What, did I hit the wrong button? Top chat. No, I want all messages visible. Why wouldn't someone? All right, so my third film, Lauren. I do plan on watching a couple movies. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Well, that's good. I actually got lent. Jennifer, who Hannah knows, Jennifer lent me Annihilation. I don't know if you've heard of that, Lauren or Hannah, out there in the chat. A movie called Annihilation. Our mutual friend or our mutual person that we know, Jennifer, she lent me the The Blu-ray for it. Yeah, you heard it was good. It is. I mean, it's something. I can't really figure out if I like it or not. It's I always put on these movies a little bit too late at night, so I couldn't necessarily tell everything that was going on. I think I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I found it to be. I needed more information. I felt like I was pulling at strings or something. What I'm gonna do real quick is just set this down and then turn on the light. I may even put my dog on for a second. Hold on. Just a second. I'll be right back, please. Just a second. Let me put on a light. It's too dark for me. Just a second. Let me put on a light. So I'm so happy to have you on. I know Jesse. What do you call it? Jesse, our mutual person that we know. Um, he's a subscriber to the channel, so if you would like to subscribe to the channel, Lauren or Hannah or anyone, just go ahead and subscribe. I'm now up to 11 subscribers, and if I had marketed what I'm doing a little bit more, calling on, hey, oh wow, okay, hey, that's pressure now. Jesse's watching. Hey, bud. Hi. Hope everything's all right. So anyway, we got Hannah and we got Jesse watching. Oh my god, now I'm like scared. But so don't be pressured. Oh, okay. And the crying thing. I don't understand emojis all the time. Annihilation is based on Jeff Van der Meer's novel. I enjoyed the book. Okay, yes. Now the reason I was most interested is someone really recommended the book, and it was my basically a relative or someone I really liked their opinions. I don't, found it to be interesting that they liked the book so much. So Blue Eel review in Rue Morgue magazine. The Blue Eel is an engaging offbeat mixture of police procedural. Sweet. That sounds awesome. Wondering if you've seen Inherent Vice, Lauren. I was discussing that movie briefly with Jesse in the past and others. I'd read that book and listened to the audio book, and there's some really fascinating things that are like referred to in the movie. So your description of your book, Blue Eel, kind of reminds me of it in a way because, or I mean, I don't know if it'll remind me of it, but there's a lot of mystical things that kind of overlap into the movie. The whole concept of the Golden Fang, heroin merchants, and the cult kind of activity going on in Laurel Canyon. And living in Laurel Canyon, as I did for a while out there in Hollywood, I got to know a little bit about some of that stuff. Not seen Inherent Vice. Cool. So yeah, to Jesse and Hannah out there, Lauren is an author. I know I've probably said this already, but Lauren's an author. You can read more about his books. One's called Blue Eel, and the other is we were just talking about it. I got to scroll back though. Bleak December. Sorry, my memory is not the best. And so he's also a panelist on a weekly show, but it's not every week all the time. But just check on Twitter, TSF Nation at TSF Nation. It's called The Sausage Factory, and they talk basically about horror and all sorts of different movies and things like that. And I've participated in some of the videos of others that are on that show. So I highly recommend it. And I also want to tell you all watching out there, I'm going to be posting an interview I did with Tom Fridley, who actually gets killed in Friday the 13th 6. He is John Travolta's nephew, and he's performed or appeared in almost half of John Travolta's movies. So that's, a positive family connection, I guess you would say, at least. And he's a very unique and talented actor and musician in his own right. So I'm really excited about the interview with Tom Fridley, and I haven't known him for several years now. Actually, a lot of the people that I know, I've actually come to know through watching their work and then contacting and then fostering real relationships with the people, either some of them through email and phone, a lot more through like real personal friendships and things like that. So another one I'm working on is Victor Miller, who I'm sure Lauren is pretty familiar with, and maybe Jesse or Hannah too. But Victor Miller is a very famous, not very famous, but famous writer. Made I mean, he's infamous, I guess you would say, because he created the Friday the 13th original screenplay. Lauren's way more familiar with some of his books than I am. I haven't read um, much of his stuff, except a lot of his unpublished screenplays I've read. He's sent me some of them, and I've sent him some of my writing. And also, I was a huge, huge, huge fan of a TV show called All My Children growing up. And when I learned that he wrote for that show for years, part of our conversation, or not part, I'd say like 80% of our conversation has to do with All My Children. So I've been basically trying to edit it around and put in some things related to All My Children, but I know a lot of people won't know what I'm talking about or he's talking about. But the level of passion that some people have for the Friday the 13th franchise, Victor Miller doesn't have that, clearly. And he much prefers talking about his other works, which is something I prefer too. I mean, I don't prefer, I'd like to talk at length about the Friday the 13th movies, the conflict, the lawsuit, the this, the that. But like, with anything politically or whatever, I'm not saying there's ways to get to talking about information without just being like, hey, Victor, tell me what's going on with the Friday the 13th lawsuit, So we talk about all sorts of things, and our commonality with All My Children is great. And basically, I feel if All My Children was still on the air, there's a chance I'd be, able to be a writer on that show, because he basically carried so much weight in the world of soap opera writing at that time, and technically still does. I don't know why he doesn't just call one of these soap operas that's still around and be like, hey, pay me, because he's basically a really good creative person as far as that goes. So we have no chat posting here, so I'm trying to make sure that you guys are entertained. How's business out there at our mutual place of employment? How's everything going there today? I clearly had the day off and had a wonderful day. Won a couple games in basketball and then lost one. And went to a baseball game as well, but my four-legged daughter over there didn't want to watch the whole game, which I don't blame her. I really don't. When you go to a baseball game that's not like a professional game, there's really nothing drawing you to stay, and there's actually things only trying to keep you from going. And dogs are pretty um, they have like a chart, right? They like think about, oh, do I want to be doing this or not? And then once the thing that is or not is too much, then they want to move on. And that's basically how a dog thinks very much. I've been getting into their head, having watched a group of dogs for years, and then taking care of them and one on one, obviously. That's how their mind works. And her, sitting there in the dog park or in the ballpark, she's having fun sitting there, and then all of a sudden a foul ball come, and she's like, "Oh, that's just or not. I don't like how a ball can almost land on me. That's in this category." And then basically there's a loudspeaker comes on. It's too loud. So and she wants to leave that category. And then there's children running around the aisle. So everything. And then there's people running around the field that she can't get to, and all this. So hey, that's good, man. I'm glad to be entertaining someone. I had a troll on here earlier. It was pretty entertaining. Have you ever? I mean, you may have been watching. I don't even know. I was going at the troll pretty good, but yeah, he's so weird. He just whatever, Sometimes I put out details on there on this the Sausage Factory live chat, and then I can tell that they're watchers from that one. They jump right from there because I announce I'm about to do a live stream, and then they'll jump into there. So I have very limited fan and viewership. Like I was saying, if I had been promoting, or if I ever got active on social media and been like, oh, for everyone out there that's watched my work on TV and radio in the past, I now have a new uh, media empire I'm trying to build on YouTube and branded it more. Then I'd probably have a couple hundred to start with or something, but like I really didn't want to carry anything from my other stuff to this, and just kind of in a mode of seeing how I can build something new from this. So let's go ahead and review another movie. This is kind of like the Siskel and Ebert show. I like their format, but obviously we're having to do a lot of interaction and keep making sure, um, make sure people are engaged. A movie is called CHUD, and it stands for Cannibalistic Human or Humanoid Underground Dwellers. Now, for everyone out there who's seen Us or haven't seen Us, I don't know, some might qualify this as a spoiler or some information about it. But it happens in the first minute of the movie. There's basically a shot of the people in the 80s having a video of CHUD in the movie. But the other movie that's in the shot is also The Right Stuff, the space movie from the 80s. So that's not a spoiler. So there's two movies that are VHS cassettes that are shown as like background props in the movie. So we lost someone. Oh no, now we only have two on the live stream. Oh well. Oh well. I thought I was riding high there. I had three for a minute. So that's good. So anyway, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. The cast for this movie it's too hard almost for me to clearly I've seen John Hurt and Daniel Stern in a lot of movies. Bride showed up. She had to sign off. Oh, right on. So, oh my God, that's really classic. I get it now. You guys were both at Trio. That's so classic, man. Oh man. Oh man, some inside work stuff going on. Sorry, Lauren. But yeah, Jesse's really cool. He knows a lot about movies and stuff. And oh, Jesse, I also had a guest on last week, a guy named Narek Chase, and we were talking about our favorite or movies that have been adapted from either board games or toys in the past. That's kind of an interesting discussion. Um, so back to Chud. Chud is cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, and it takes place in New York, I think. And basically, the first scene in the movie, this lady's walking her dog, and the Chud or something comes out and grabs her and pulls her into the sewer, and she dies. And the movie's really interesting. Um, People have said Us is has similarities to Chud, and not only that is the Chud movie in the what do you call it? in shot in it. Sorry. Uh, but there's some similarities, and I just hope everyone can see Us. I probably shouldn't talk much more about it, and in particular, I don't think that you have, right? So I'll talk about that a little bit more later. I'll just talk about Chud on its own. Chud on its own, I really do like. I'm not in love with the movie. I'm really looking forward to seeing Chud 2, seeing where it goes. Um, Chud's not exactly something with, it doesn't have Stephen King associated with it. Oh yeah, I saw sorry to sway my change of thought there. I just saw Lauren's comment though, and made me yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. I really like Chud. I would like where it was going. I kind of wish I could see it better. The transfer that I have is I can't really tell what's going on. Chud 2 is not a sequel. Cool. Huh. So Lauren's saying that Chud 2 goes in a completely different direction. It's not really a sequel, it's more of a zombie movie. Cool. Well, definitely. I know I've seen them in the past, but sometimes when I saw some stuff when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, I was living a pretty fast life at that time. So I don't always remember those years too much, but they were definitely great. So what was that now? Uh, it had Garrett Grant. Oh, yeah. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Lauren, you were massively disappointed with Us. I I don't really know, man. It was a little bit too personal to me. Like I lived in Santa Cruz before, so like obviously they say Santa Cruz in the movie like 50 times or 100 times, and they're showing like the street I lived on, and the boardwalk, all the roller coaster, that whole theme park. You can just walk in and off the street, and I used to walk through that theme park every day just because it was nice to just see a functioning little amusement park. So I have like deeply personal memories tied to Santa Cruz and being in that area. It's a very unique part of California or the world in general. It's like a major area in terms of surfing and skateboarding culture and a lot of stuff that I really know, or due to my life and circumstances that I've been around for a lot of my life. A lot of activities going on up there and things like that. That seeing the story, or lack of story, I guess you would say, or over exposition stuff that you were mentioning, go on when it went on bothered me, but I think my mind was in a whole other place and had already put together what was on the screen. I don't know, man. I have a lot of mixed emotions about the film. Uh, I what I wanted to bring up, Lauren, is the race stuff. This not what Mr. Peel's comments. I don't want to talk about. I don't care. It's people misconstrue it all they want. I don't care. I want to talk about the white family in the movie. What would you think was going on with that? It seemed like they were in a different movie, an exploitation movie. They seemed like they were in an exploitation movie. They seemed like they were in a different movie. They seemed like they were there as a punchline. They seemed like the Winston Duke's interaction with that main white gentleman, father or whatever, um, that there was a weird tit for tat going on, a rivalry regarding he gets a luxury SUV, the other dude gets a boat. One guy gets a boat, he gets another boat. I don't uh that I noticed that the twins, yeah, something about the twins. Well, the twins were complete airheads. I noticed that, and that's what I'm not understanding about like Mr. Peel. Um, is he just saying like with that white the twins death scene is a recreation of the hallway scene in The Shining? I could see that. I guess is it a shot like exact proportionate shot that bodies are positioned exactly the same. Okay, yeah, that's what I mean thing. I thought that I mean without that scene's great. I don't want to spoil everything and everything, but that scene's just really cool. I really like the quote unquote massive kill scene or whatever you want to call it, that how quickly it's done and all that. But I don't like on the trailer how they have the part where Elizabeth Moss is basically cutting off her face. And unless I was just out of it or something, I don't remember that part in the movie. That being said, they do all sorts of shit in their trailers these days and get away with it, and people accept it. I'm not a major complainer on social media and stuff like that. So most normal people don't give a fuck enough to complain. But all these whiny people on there, they just something they gotta complain about every day. What are they complaining about today? About the Avengers? They can't get tickets. Just ease back, you fucking beyond first world problems. First world annoyances. I get first world problems that annoy other people that are living in the first world and are thankful and grateful to not be living in the third world. That those people in the first world actually think that they're in the third world because they can't get the tickets that they think that's birthright to them in the first world. I mean, if you really analyze these dumb fucks that get all like confused about not being able to get tickets and all this shit, they need to shut the fuck up and like go live in Ethiopia for a little while. Um, yeah, I just didn't think sticking together at all. The plot just doesn't hold up. Um, yeah, I mean, the last several scenes of the movie, and the scene where the media is like showing how this is happening in massive scale, are we to think that the world's taken over? Who knows, man? I don't know. Like, I'm not in disagreement with you, but I think the skill and the direction and some of the humor in it, some of the, I guess, the earnestness of the main father's performance, even though he's basically reduced to like um the screaming woman in the background from Night of the Living Dead as Lupita Nyong'o takes force over things. I thought that he's an interesting performer. I believe that he's like Islander or something because I was hearing something in his voice made me think that he's not like a typically voiced person. He's a got a little bit of a difference to his voice. Which if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm usually pretty good at picking that stuff out. Um, I turned the light on over there. It's still dark over here. That's really weird. Oh well. Um, oh. Yeah, I don't disagree with. I wouldn't say I'm massively anything about it. That's how I feel about Us. That I saw it. I don't care to look up any of the theories about it. I don't care to break down the plot because, as you say, it doesn't really hold up to me ballying it around in my head. Um, the fact that there are massive underground tunnels all over the world and the country should disturb people, because it's true. From, I mean, it's at the beginning of this movie. It's long been an urban legend that's been proven to be at least somewhat correct. Um, so that should disturb people. It is something to manipulate a fact like that for this very dark horror concept of double walkers and basically if we are what we are or are we abducted versions of ourselves in a way. Um, I don't know. I like that. I like that he's not really serving it up to people completely. So I think I liked it slightly more than you, but I'm not even one of the. I don't think I would recommend it to everyone. And also seeing people's reactions as they leave the theater, as I tend to do. That's what I'm hearing is that a lot of people are saying to the person that they went with, "Why did you drag me to this? This is nothing like how I thought it was going to be. What the hell did we just watch?" So a lot of the money that it got, I would say like 15-20% are reactions like that. So I would say for his third and fourth movies, we'll see how he can do. I mean, obviously we'll see how he can do, but we really will because that's like what happened with M. Night Shyamalan by the third or fourth movie is he's sure he could still open movies up. And the word of mouth would become terrible. And the word of mouth on this can't all be that positive because uh, we're having to do a lot of the mental gymnastics for the movie, even though it connects some of the dots. But anyway, yeah. What time is your shift over there, Jesse? I won't keep you too long here. Let's see. All messages are visible. I just didn't think the plot came together. Nice. All right, caught up on my chat. Oh man, that was awesome. I got visited by I won't say. Oh, I got visited by HC earlier, Hannah, and I'm getting visited by JK right now. Here until 9:30. All right, man. I'll probably. I don't remember what time it is, but judging by the darkness, it's about 8. I bet soon. That's cool. I'll just do some stuff here. I want to review another movie. And I already put the 3 movies in the title that I did. I'll talk a little bit more about Annihilation. I'm not really in the position to review it because I don't. I saw the movie last night, but I don't remember the ending. It stars Natalie Portman, Oscar Isaac, Tessa Thompson, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. And I believe Gina Rodriguez. I don't know for sure, though. So I find that to be really weird. This movie did so poorly, Annihilation. Um, so she's a war veteran, and her husband's a war veteran, and her husband died in the war, but he didn't actually die in the war. He come back to her after he presumed dead, and he tell her nothing, and then he starts like getting blood up in him and stuff, and then so he goes to the paramedic, and then or the ambulance, and then instead of taking an ambulance, they take her and him to like a psych ward or a hospital, and then they take, and you think they're just like in society still, but then they're not. They're in this place called the Glitter or the Shimmer. They're near the Shimmer, and the Shimmer is this part of, yeah, no promotional budget, never had a chance. So what's your theory with that, Lauren? Is Paramount's just priming itself to sell itself, right? Paramount wishes Disney bought it, but it doesn't have enough IP. Literally, that's what Paramount's doing. If you look at what they're doing, they're releasing movies without a promotional budget and without this and without that. Now, Natalie Portman's not a huge draw, but you know, if you market that you got Tessa Thompson and Oscar Isaac in it and make it a more of an ensemble, made me think that there was almost a conflict of interest about it all. That Disney really is shaming Paramount and saying that we're going to outspend you. We're going to limit Tessa Thompson's promotional participation in the movie. We're going to limit how many times she can go on the show and talk about Annihilation during when we were, pumping up for Infinity War. Because that kind of thing definitely is in their contracts. Most definitely. So a lot of things going on over there at Paramount. I think you make a really good point there, Lauren. Really spotty distribution, basically no promotional budget. I'm going to verify about the spotty distribution. I know that to be true, but like on a anecdotal level, when I go, tomorrow, I'll be able to verify that because I can actually look that up in this region and see, how many theaters it was in, what it did exactly, and all that, because I know that it opened at like less than 10 million, which is literally, or if it was over 10 million, it wasn't far. That's like hard to do these days, especially being a sci-fi genre film. Those tend to open pretty well. Now it came out in that vacuum area right after Black Panther and before Avengers, so that definitely hurt it too. So there were a lot of factors. Paramount focused on their TV arm. Yeah, they really are focused on their TV arm. They really, really are. They're focused on putting as little of their own money into the Mission Impossible movies and getting as much profit participation as those as possible. Because if you notice, Skydance, which is Larry Ellison's son company, they are tripping. I mean, they're tripping. They're spending all their money on most of Paramount's movies lately. On a side note, I think we should all, Megan Ellison, she's the other Larry Ellison daughter. She's the one that's been spending all these money on these prestige movies that haven't caught on. A lot of prestige movies she's made that have not caught on. The Beale Street Can Talk. If it was a good movie, I'm not sure, but it didn't catch on awards-wise or money-wise. It wasn't even designed to. Vice, they all thought was going to catch on, didn't catch on. A lot of these other movies. So she's been like, going at it with the media when they, just gotta tell them, you gotta give the media credit sometimes. They're being honest and saying Annapurna has had, a handful of turkeys lately, and she's not handling that too well. Having known Megan in the past, it's now been reported, so I don't feel like it's uncomfortable to say it. She's been in rehab for the last 2 weeks. So Annapurna is now not being managed by Megan Ellison. It's being managed by another member of the Ellison family. And it's not the brother, it's someone else who's more of a caretaker, kind of an Alfred, you know, to, if the Ellisons were the Wayne family, it would be like Alfred is taking over now. And they're going to do some more responsibly spending movies, because you're telling me they went and bought distribution and all this, a whole system set up, and they haven't had one blockbuster. And the only way you can keep doing all this stuff is have a more blockbuster, or you have your dad make, you know, what, 4 or 5 billion a year, as Larry Ellison is said to make. So that might help. But we certainly went down a little rabbit hole there talking about the Ellison family. They are attempting to take over Hollywood, and it's not exactly working. You can't buy your way into that system. You can't. You really can't. Many have tried, many fail. Here until 9:30. Okay. Well, Jesse, I'm sure it's pretty slow down there. Lauren used to work in the music album, or sorry, I'm not really too good with words right now. Like a music store, music business, music distribution. And I worked at Tower Records back in the day, like in on the Sunset Strip. It was pretty cool. Didn't work there too long, but definitely checked in on that business as it was on its last legs. I used to have some great CDs and everything like that, and just it just triggered in my mind when I bring up Tower Records. I really do like that movie Rock of Ages. I especially like the parts that take place at Tower Records, as of course Tower Records no longer stands. They were able to kind of recreate or show you kind of what Tower Records was like. Damn, man. I wish the lighting was a little bit better in here. I have another room in there. I have like posters and stuff, but hey, whatever. Um, I guess I'll make a non-spoiler review for Rolling Thunder. And I mean no spoilers. I mean as most possible. John Flynn directed this movie. John Flynn would go on to direct one of the one of the better Steven Seagal movies. Out for Justice. Steven Seagal tends to be in that performance and a couple others when he's really personally motivated, it seems, by some of the events from the plot. He'll get all riled up, and that's what I like about Rolling Thunder. Obviously, some very personal stuff happens to the main character, and he gets very riled up. So John Flynn specializes in these action revenge thrillers that really feature strong characters, a strong lead, I guess you would say, and strong supporting characters. So Rolling Thunder has to do with two Vietnam veterans returning from war after being POWs and having their life, upside down, being presumed dead, first of all, like literally being presumed dead for a long period of time. We're going to have to go on a quick walk here, so I'm going to set this down. So they're presumed dead for, a real long period of time. And then once they are no longer dead, they are. Oh, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. All right. All right, we're going to go on a walk. So once they come back to America, or whatever it's called, they have a issue. Their lives have been going on without them. To some extent, one of their families has kind of moved on without them. And it's heartbreaking to see, but harder for them to deal with are the memories of their torture. You know, clearly being a POW, you go through quite a wide variety of torture. So now this man who's basically having PTSD, where he'll recreate the torturous things that he went through. You know, being kind of strung up and put his hands behind his back, and it seems to be something that he's doing. He's recreating. You know, I guess they kept him in a room with the light on all the time, so he's sleeping with the light on and putting a blindfold over himself and all this stuff that they would do to him. So hold on a second. So doing all that stuff, right? And it's causing strain on the new family, or the family that may as well be new, because when he left, his son was 2 or 3, I believe. And when he comes back, his son is literally like almost a man, like 11 or 12, enough to not know the father that he should know. It's a really heartbreaking movie, but obviously some events then happen once he's back. He's given a lot of money from like a local car dealership or something, and given an award. And you know, some local lady shows some interest in him because his wife, like I said, has kind of moved on. And because he gets all this, what would you say, money as a reward, he doesn't even know how to deal with it. He doesn't even know how to process it. He's basically getting paid for having survived a very brutal and torturous experience. So they give him a really nice car, I believe a nice Cadillac, and they go through a whole thing of celebrating his life. So you guys out there in the chat, have you seen Rolling Thunder before? I highly recommend the movie. I couldn't recommend it higher. I might try to pop it on later today if I can find the Blu-ray for it. It's written by Paul Schrader, or at least was touched up by him. Or actually, he may have written the whole thing, and then Haywood Gould did the rewrite for it. Now, Haywood Gould may not be a name that pops right in your head, but Haywood Gould wrote Cocktail, wrote the book for Cocktail, and then the movie. I don't think too many people know the Tom Cruise movie Cocktail was actually based on a book. As strange and as bizarre of a movie that is, I don't think anyone knew that was based on a book. So anyway, cool. Jesse says you're gonna check it out. Yeah, if you want, I got the Blu-ray for it, but it's just go ahead and buy it. It's a really good one too. I think you'll enjoy owning it. In the kitchen here. And may as well just warm this little bit right up there. So anyway, once they're back and they're in the new life, Tommy Lee Jones plays in it. So he's the I don't know what kind of rank they were in the army, but whatever the one dude is, who's played by William Devane, the other dude has a lower rank, clearly. So events happen, and it becomes necessary for our main character to now, not as a war veteran and a torture victim, to now go on a revenge rampage. What would set him to do something like that is very sad and very dramatic events. And I guess maybe someone would be like, wow, this guy, not only did he have to suffer from the war, in Vietnam being tortured. Now he's got to deal with this whole new fate and way of living his life. So, oh gosh, I almost started a fire. Yeah, I need to hire a chef. So yeah, it came out, I believe, in 1977. So it's quite an older one, indeed, indeed. Going into my movie room here. See if I can set up some of my stuff real quick. Got my bumblebee over here. Look out. Hey, I'm gonna eat. Look out. Move my dog around. Sit down. Oh, you'll have more in a minute, dude. Here, come on and say hi to Jesse. Come here, say hi to Jesse and Lauren. Come on, over here. Sit by the bumblebee. Sit by the bumblebee. There's Bumblebee. And there's you. Get over here. You get by the bumblebee. Go by the bumblebee. You want to be here? Like that. Oh, okay. You just want some rice. You just want some rice. You just want some rice. That'd be nice. A little bit. All right. So that is Rolling Thunder. Tommy Lee Jones gives a fascinating supporting performance. Very good. But William Devane, real star of the movie. Now, I'll probably have Linda Haynes on this channel eventually. Linda Haynes is the actress, plays the main role in it. I don't know how she wasn't nominated for an award for that movie, any award, but I don't believe that she was. It's a fantastic performance. Beautiful woman at the time, still is. And be glad to be friends with her and all that, but it'd be great to get the interview done and get her recognized more for her great work. She's in her 70s now, so late 60s, I believe. So yeah, that's a Mission Impossible poster. This is one for Hellfest. Lauren, look at that poster, bro. Lauren, that's your favorite movie from the most recent years. I have a Hellfest poster. There you go. Look. You like it? I think it's what do you call it? Double-sided, on each side. So Jesse, Lauren really likes horror movies a lot. And he said something that I was really surprised to hear, but said Hellfest is one of his favorite horror movies, or I don't know, I'll let him say exactly, but he really enjoyed it. Now, I really wanted to watch it too. I love roller coasters first, and I love the idea of a horror movie at one. So, been lazy. I haven't bought it yet. I know it's pretty cheap to get probably at this point. But yeah, it opened for like 6 or 7 million, and it wasn't a flop, but it wasn't a hit, I don't think, either. Came out right in the weeks before Halloween, so I think everyone was gearing up for that. You're a good dog. Get ready to feed her some food. Feed myself some more. Yeah, but that's Rolling Thunder. I believe John Flynn is no longer with us. But one of my favorite directors. One that deserved probably a little bit more attention. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Oh, Jesse, I wrote and Jesse and Mom, I wrote a little a horror movie, and it's called The Drive-In Slasher. I wrote another one that could technically be made at a small little movie theater, but don't really want to deal with getting all the rights and everything for that just yet. But the one at the drive-in, I hope to try to make, but let me get everything organized here. Hold on. Giving my dog some of my rice. I figured that would be nice for her. Good dog deserves some rice. Huh. Oh, yeah. So let's open it up to discussion. It opened at 5 million. Finishes. The budget was only 5. That's good. That's the advanced poster. I have one about 4 feet to my left of my wall, the release poster. Oh, cool. Yeah, next time I watch Sausage Factory, I'm going to try to like look in more detail about the poster that you got there. I'm really looking forward to watching it. So you could save me the trouble of looking up to see what special features are on it. Is there a commentary track? I know you don't like them much, but is there a commentary track? And is there, like making of or any features? I'd really like to know that. It would be cool if there was a feature talking about how rare R-rated horror slashers are, because that's definitely some of the appeal, I'm sure. You're right, that is the advanced poster. Just looking at it, I know that now. I did see a different poster when I was at the theater too for it. You already ate, so now I'm gonna eat now. We eat in streaks. And make something else in here. I don't like to eat anything too heavy, so. What about y'all? I do wish I was close to where Jesse's at right now. I'd go get me a cheesesteak, but I don't feel like going and doing all that. But I do like myself a good cheesesteak. I'm making some steak, rice, fajita. I don't really know why I bought this, but see if it's any good. I like steak. I like fajitas. How bad can it be? There's only a single 5-minute behind the scenes featurette. Man, at least it has that though. At least it has that. A lot of things won't even hazard that nowadays. And I'm trying to get. I guess I should announce this. I'm friends with Robert Meyer Burnett, who made a lot of special features. I'm really trying to coax him out of retirement. He seems to think that there isn't a market really for special features as much. But there could be, it's all about making new content and putting it out there online rather than having it as part of the DVD. Because literally, why are we requiring all us special features and aspiring special features producers out there? Why are we requiring that our work goes and be as a part of a home release? Why are we requiring that? Why can't someone just create a portal of special features? Just like the Barbecue Network has a bunch of special features and commentaries available about it. Now, would they be authorized and licensed by, the studio and I'm part of the distribution of the DVD and Blu-ray? No. But that's the thing about it. We're all on YouTube all the time. Why not we just put all our work on YouTube, or ideally on a home media release? But I don't know. It's something that I really think should be a lot easier than it is, which is if we want to make special features, just because there's not studios saying there's a market for it, doesn't mean that there's not a market for it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I look at things on that. Thank you. They produced a ton of special features on the website. Thank you. For whatever reason they're not on the disc. Perfect. Well, usually I don't watch special features for something until I've seen the movie. So I can't wait to go check those out on YouTube. That's awesome. I'm sure a lot of things are going that way. The way I'm saying it is that just put them available on YouTube. I'm at low battery right now, but let me make sure I'm plugged in. Hold on a second here. All right, there we go. I think we're all plugged in. You can belly back a little bit, bub. Come on, you can come in the shot. Come on, couch. Come on, Bubba. Oh, zippy. Oh, zippy. Yeah, come on. And this is a shot introducing you. Come on up. Come on up on the couch. Yeah, get up in the shot. Get up in the shot, Bob. Up in the shot. Yeah, there. You're kind of in the shot. Kind of not. Oh, kind of in the shot. Kind of not. Oh, you just stood right on my foot. That's a good mama. Good dog. You want to watch Hellfest as well? Did you like Annihilation? Anyway, hey man, is Aquaman still at the? Is Jesse? Is Aquaman still at where you're at? Because it's on Blu-ray. Like I might borrow it. No, I might just buy it myself because I really like. I really quite liked Aquaman. I quite enjoyed that movie. I quite enjoyed it. There we are. So that was my like kind of we still have it until at least Thursday. Oh my god, man, that's on Blu-ray. That's kind of cool. But I guess if people still want to see it on the big screen, yeah, go see it, man. That's so cool. I think you'd like it. It's fun. You know what's funny is someone has already told me a spoiler about Shazam. I don't know if I should say it here. I may as well. I don't know. If someone don't want to hear it, they can. But the DC's thing's not as connected as the others. It basically is that I guess Aquaman's not in Shazam. You don't appear in Shazam. So had they left that open, or had I not known that, I probably would like be wanted to see Shazam. I probably will still see Shazam, but had my man Aquaman be in Shazam, I'd be going and seeing Shazam as soon as possible, or I would be excited to see it. But without my man Aquaman in it, it's a whole different story. Yeah, I could wait till it comes out on whatever. I have no interest overly. So anyway, I don't know. I guess DC is just like settling for a second. They don't even want to have it connected anymore, and I prefer they don't have it connected. But when you hit and you're connected with a Marvel cinematic deal, you get exponential box office from it. You really do. But anyway, that's a bit much. I had some other subjects I wanted to bring up on this chat. Oh, the CinemaCon is going on right now. So there's a couple new standees that were introduced. There's a new promotional standee for Rocket Man, which is the Elton John biography picture. A couple other standees came out as well. So we'll have to see, and posters and stuff. And I'll have to see where that goes. Commentaries and interviews that you're going to see more on the channel soon. I'm going to be talking to Deborah Voorhees. Again, because I've already done an interview with her, but it wasn't recording properly. So now this wonderfully nice lady is going to take more time out of her life to talk more about some of her work in the TV show Dallas, but also more importantly, Friday the 13th, Part 5, where she is very memorably killed by Jason, but not Jason. For anyone that's not seen the movie, I won't spoil more than that. Another thing that's... Where's that reflection behind me? Oh, I get it. It's this photo that has this weird finish on it, so it looks like foil. It's strange. What was I just saying? I don't remember now. I don't remember. That sucks. I don't remember. I think all I'll jump to is that when I was watching Annihilation, there's this woman in it, and it's Jennifer Jason Leigh. Oh, the lady from Friday the 13th. Okay, yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Deborah Voorhees, very nice. And she gets killed in Friday the 13th. She lives in New Mexico. I've become friendly with her through the years. And she's also appeared on my friend Pizzo Wells' channel. And was part of the Friday the 13th 5 commentary, if I'm not mistaken. And she's had a very interesting career. She's left the business of acting or whatever she was into back in the day, and then actually became an English teacher in high school. And then all the students became kind of obsessed with her because she's pretty hot, and obviously they recognized her from the Friday the 13th Part 5. And then, as dumbass school and management people are sometimes, they fired her because, they learned about her past in the world of television and entertainment, and that she'd appeared topless and not only Friday the 13th 5, but other movies, and, played basically a nymphomaniac type girl in that movie. Anyway, talking to her and re recording it, we're just trying to see when we can schedule that. And also, you know, uh, consider Kane Hodder, who played in Jason and Friday the 13th, 7, 8, 9, and 10, to be a real inspiration to me, a real good friend. And it was great meeting him. And then, as it happens, we've gone to lunch and stuff several times since. And I could be a kind of guy that's like, oh, I'm gonna throw these photos up on this and that, and me hanging out with this absolute legend. But I don't really like to do that kind of stuff because, um, technically I'm not like next door neighbors with him. I can't, but like we, I'm living in a different state now. I can't just like go hang out with him. We would like go walk dogs and stuff in the past, but um he's really cool, and people don't really know his whole story. In fact, once I saw the documentary about him, I'd never even known him, and then we like related so much because all this stuff that he had to have gone through is kind of similar but different. And obviously, I'm a pretty big person, and other people like him or me, they kind of gravitate towards me. Be it Bobby Knight, the famous coach, or him, but also CJ Graham. CJ Graham, um, he played Jason in part 6. And there's no bitterness between Kane Hodder and CJ. In fact, so I'm trying to organize a time when both CJ and Kane Hodder and me can be on this live stream. And if I only get 10 or 15 views, maybe people can, uh, see it or hear about it later and they can view another time. I don't really care to get, some huge amount of viewership towards it because literally, like, all these friendships and these things I've fostered with people that I can, if I don't get them interviewed on camera here, at least talk to them over the phone and be like, oh, when I talk to them, I can describe what they said about, this movie that they made and stuff like that. That's kind of some of the interviews I'm working on right now because a lot of the people I know, they don't necessarily want to just have to clear everything through their agent, their publicist about going on my barbecue network broadcast at this time. They want to be able to do it. Clearly, they want to be able to share information and all that. But a lot of times they have a deal about what they can do as far as media interviews and stuff. And I'm not the kind of guy to just be like, "Oh, please, just come on here." But they both of them have offered. It's just a matter of like, I work quite a lot on the weekend, and they work on the weekends. Because they go to horror conventions and they get paid. I'm not going to ask them to cancel going to a horror convention just so I can have them on for 3 or 4 hours. But it's crossed my mind. That's a bit presumptuous, though. But, when they go to these horror conventions, Lauren would probably know better than me. Lauren, what do you think? And never going to ask Kane because it's just rude. What do you think he makes? What do you think Kane Hodder makes at a convention on a weekend, like a Friday through Sunday? I have an idea of what CJ Graham makes because I know him, seen him do his thing at a convention firsthand and know how he works. And he has, like, I'm sure he's not ashamed to say this, a lower ask price than Kane Hodder. He's been in far less, and he's, no one knows his main role other than Jason, even though he did pretty good in that movie. He's playing the devil or whatever. But I can't even think of the title, and I'm a friend and a fan of his. So, but obviously, a lot of horror fans are really into CJ. Some like CJ as his favorite. I don't disagree. I mean, his performance in 6 is excellent. I think if I had to say, I really like Richard Brooker's interpretation of Jason in Part 3. So what we're talking about right now, Jesse, if you don't know these names, basically all these different people that have played Jason through the different years. There's a guy named Derek Mears who played it in the 2009 remake, and he just signed on to be some other new horror movie. It depends what part of the country. Yeah, I guess in like a real hotbed, like Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio. How much would Kane make? I think he'd just clock money. So that's basically my point: is that these individuals clock so much money on these times of these conventions and stuff like that that I'm just trying to coordinate with them. I know Tuesdays are good for Kane, where Thursdays are better for CJ, and we might just have it where I have and interview them separately. But I think it would be really cool to just have CJ and Kane because they're the two most recent ones, and frankly, they're the ones that are going to be alive last. Derek, Kane, and unless something crazy gets happened, they'll get hit by a bus. CJ, Kane, and Derek are going to be around for a lot longer than, God forbid, the guy that just passed away recently. Can't think of his name right now. I've been doing this for a little while, so I can't think of all these names right off the top of my head. Just passed. Anyway, God bless and rest in peace, sir. I really enjoyed your work. Ted White's still alive, but he's going to be passing soon. I'll probably think of it in a couple minutes. Um, I don't know Dick Wyan personally. I've met him online and stuff, and he seems like a charming individual. But he technically didn't play Jason, but he did, I guess, too. Um, so yeah, those are the things I'm looking forward to doing here with the channel more soon. Something that's a little more niche. Jesse, Lauren, have you ever seen The Fan from 1994, the Robert De Niro Wesley Snipes movie? You might be wondering, why am I bringing that movie up? And I'll let you know. It's because I love that movie. And then become friendly with the screenwriter. And I basically just befriended him and wrote to him. I was like, your movie is underrated. Critics were biased against the genre at the time. They didn't see, the beauty of the performances in it and all this. And it was really, I'd known him in the past. I met Thief. Oh, God. I think I snuck onto the set of a sitcom that he was making in the mid 90s. I think it might have been the George and Leo show with Judd Hirsch. Don't quote me on that, though. I think he had quite a few sitcoms he'd be working there. Steve Dash, thank you so much. God bless and rest in peace, Steve Dash. So we still got all the other ones still alive. But Richard Brooker died at a young age. I jumped around too much there. I forgot again. Never heard of it until I saw one of your videos. I believe you were talking about it. Sounds good. Yeah, The Fan. So anyway, I'm gonna be getting Mr. Sutton on as to interview him too. He doesn't. I don't really know much about this technology, so he's trying to see about The Fan. There we go. Yeah, exactly. He's trying to see when he can come on. So The Fan flopped. The Fan did not do well. So it's nice to talk to him and give the movie a little more respect than it gets from conventional critics and stuff. 1 second here. And I'll tell you how I have found The Fan. I had found The Fan just watching it on cable years ago because I was even biased about it. The media did a really good job of biasing people against the movie. Did very bad when it came out in August of '94. And so then I was looking online once and I saw it as part of an 8-pack of Sony movies. So I bought it. And I'm just totally impressed by that one. One of my favorite purchases. Oh, gosh. Let's see if I can set this up just right. Okay. Phone chargers are pretty weird. This one's going to be popping out of the portal in a minute. As long as it's charged. Yeah, that's not bad. Sorry for the reddish tint to it all. You're going to see how this steak rice tastes. This is going to be a food trying video here. Mmm. Tastes just like fajitas. Pretty good. I'm not disappointed. Yeah. I like to just eat things that are real simple. Man, I'm excited. I got 11 subscribers now. Our channel is really growing. And what you can look forward also for is Narek Chase. Narek Chase has his own channel, Mr. Chase. And like I said, he appeared on my video last week. But he's going to be coming on here, and we're going to discuss what we want for the next James Bond movie and what we want for the next 5 to 8 years of James Bond after this next James Bond movie. I've become a pretty James Bond fan. I guess you could say an amateur historian of it. And I have a short story in an anthology. Sweet. Nice. Dude, that is so cool, Lauren. So Lauren just wrote that The Fan is based on Peter Abraham's book, and the movie's pretty simplistic compared to the book. Mr. Sutton agrees. He made a simple version of it and just tried to make his most simple blank from hell thriller as he could, as he states it. You know, he's a fan from hell. You know, these blank from hell thrillers were really popular at the time. And Lauren has a short story in an anthology with Abraham's, Darkness on the Edge. Stories inspired by music of Bruce Springsteen. That is so cool. So for everyone out there watching live or watching this in the future, go ahead and check out Lauren's channel, Visited by Voices 1. And I'm sure on that you get more information about his books. Yeah, there you go. So if you're watching this in the chat, go ahead and put that. It's Amazon.com, Darkness on the Edge. And, you know, I grew up in the libraries and bookstores and stuff like that. And I still do know a lot about books. But I tend to read a lot more nonfiction these days and things. So that's why I really enjoy when I know of a writer and I can get to know more about their work. So that's really cool. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Quite hot. Sorry. Indeed. Another individual I just spoke to last week is Bob Rafelson, who made Black Widow, and that's mainly the main reason I ever contacted him. He made a slew of other movies too that are way more famous, but Black Widow is my favorite, the one that he's made. And the main reason I haven't contacted him is because I was interested in trying to make some special features or interview him, interview Teresa Russell, interview Deborah Winger, who starred in the movie. And he's just kind of like, he's of the opinion that we should do it on the YouTube route if I ever do make any of those features too, because with Disney buying Fox, they don't really want to acknowledge R-rated thrillers that didn't make money. See, that's the thing. Disney put in Deadpool into their system. They're doing because he made money. They're not putting unlawful entry into their, you know, film library with any sort of preservation idea towards it. You know, and even Unlawful Entry was a profitable movie. They're not putting My Cousin Vinny up on the mantle anywhere because it's an R-rated comedy. And yeah, it made money, but they feel that there's only a certain amount of money and brand toxification that they're wanting to tolerate. It's basically a formula. How much money is this movie going to make us? How much money has it made in the past? And how much is it going to toxify our brand if we put it into our film archives, basically? That's depressing, brutal, stupid shit that I wish wasn't going on with the Disney and Fox merger, because Fox was already doing a pretty poor job of maintaining the MGM library that it had for home media. Now, all the Fox and MGM movies are the redheaded stepchild that Disney has inherited, and it's up to them to kiss the ring to basically get a good home media release that we can be proud of. Kind of stuff pisses me off, man. But I thought the merger was entertaining of an idea and everything, but when you get into that these Disney Okay, see, Robert Meyer Burnett made a really good documentary on the making of Tron. Okay? Robert Meyer Burnett made like a 2-hour documentary on the making of Tron. Disney's not throwing down for any more of that stuff. Like, I know that for a fact. So, like, that stuff's all going to go away because now they do the special features for Fox and MGM. So, hey, Lauren, you got to go. Hey, man, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining it. I know I covered a lot of different subjects, tried to move things around here. I really do appreciate you tuning in. Really excited to check out some of your work. And we can talk on email. I'll probably send you my address or whatever you want. And would love to know what you think of some of the television and radio stuff I've done. But yeah, love talking about movies with you, dude. You're really knowledgeable and everything. So have a wonderful night. And like I said, glad work wasn't too bad for you today. And you have a great night out there, bud. I'm going to tune in to the Sausage Factory, or I'm going to plan on tuning in. I don't know if there'll be another show tomorrow or anything like that. But definitely love having you on the show. And you know what I'm really excited for? I thought you had good chemistry with B-Movie Mike. B-Movie Mike on the Sausage Factory. So I'm hoping he can come back on and we can have like a whole panel again. Because it's a blast when everyone's on that show, I got to say. And Jesse, tune in to the Sausage Factory. I want you to tune into my stuff, of course, too. But I think you'd be entertained by the Sausage Factory. And that's on every Thursday at like 6 or 7 p.m. Central. That's a YouTube channel. And man, they've been running for about 6 or 7 years now. There's an episode where they talk about every Friday the 13th movie. All right, bye, Lauren. I think Lauren just left. And all sorts of other stuff. Oh, man, this is so cool. So, I mean, not every episode of the Sausage Factory would appeal to everyone. I mean, sometimes I don't know what they're talking about and stuff, but it's pretty interesting. I recommended a movie called Murphy's Law. Stars Charles Bronson. I recommended it to some other YouTuber called Twin Peaks Coffee Time, and he didn't like the movie. Like, what's wrong with that guy? I think it's someone's personal issue if they don't like Murphy's Law. It's quite a good movie. What I might be doing more soon is some more commentary videos. So I'm excited to be planning those out. Commentary videos where I watch a movie and then give my thoughts and impressions of the movie or information that I know on the making of it. I might actually do one, a very unique one, ladies and gentlemen. And I might I'm behind on a lot of movies. Cool. I might actually do this commentary for a movie I had a small part in and put it on here. It was a pretty big movie. It had Kevin Costner in it and Jennifer Aniston. Came out in 2005. I might do the commentary for that tonight. That sounds kind of fun because I know a lot about the making of that movie. So that would be a pretty good use of my expertise because obviously me being in the movie, I know a lot about the making of it. I'm pretty behind on a lot of movies too, Jesse. Obviously we're in the business, we can watch them, but we can't as well. Did you watch Upside? There wasn't restriction on us then. I watched Upside. Have you seen that one? I really like that one. I think that's the best movie of the year, and that it should have been, all the Kevin Hart controversy. They should have figured out a way to get that movie out last year, make an Oscar for him. The universe is really weird, man, because had all those tweets and all that stuff not happen. The Oscars. Oh yeah, the original, man. What a great movie. Oh, what a great movie. I think the critics were already built in to compare it. You get it at the trio this Friday. Oh, that's cool. I'll go drop in and see it again, maybe. Um, People were already coming out of the woodwork to say, "Oh, it's not as good as the original," even without seeing it. So that once it started to make money in the heartland, people started to be like, "Oh, this and that. It's this great feel good movie. What a surprise!" And they like didn't see it coming, but I saw it coming. I thought it would be a big hit. Now it's confusing, the whole thing with the Oscars. He was going to host it, and then he said something, or they went back over his old shit, and then he was cut out. But had that whole thing not happened, and had he not even been in line to host the Oscars, I just felt STX Entertainment. STX Entertainment, they make a lot of the posters. They make a lot of the movies. And around where we are, we have a lot of posters for STX movies. The next STX movie is on 8 through 6 or 1 through 7 side is Palms. And then we have an 8 through 16 poster for Ugly Dolls. And that's an STX movie. So obviously an STX Palms and an STX Ugly Dolls make sure, they're not award caliber movies. But STX Films had Upside on their hands, and Intouchables was an awards quality movie. And yet, they didn't really bungle the release of Upside because it basically outperformed Glass and had very little expectation. But I can't help but think they left some prestige on the table. Maybe it would have made $30 or $40 million less. No, I don't even think it would have made less. I think it would have come out and made the same amount of money, maybe $15 million less, had they released it maybe December 11th. December 11th was The Mule, it was Mortal Engines, and Spider-Man. It could have come out that weekend and still made some money going against The Mule, and then stayed around through Christmas and then rolled on through January. Because you know what? 3 weeks after The Mule came out, it was not doing as much as it had done. And they would have hurt each other slightly, but then Upside would have been in the awards race. But with people going on Twitter and looking up his old shit, it may have been canceled out of the awards race. But had they just put the movie out in late November or early December, they'd have basically the same amount of money, in my opinion, because it still made all this money even with all the controversy. And they would have had at least a Golden Globe nomination for Kevin Hart. And I'm not the biggest proponent, or I don't care one way or the other, but I think he did a really good performance in that movie. So, obviously Omar Sy in the original, he's gone on to be in some different movies. I think he was in Jurassic World. Not sure what else. So, what do you think about did you hear Mark Hamill is going to do the voice of Chucky now? Well, as a guy that knows the original voice of Chucky, I don't know, because I'm not talking to him all the time lately. I don't know what he thinks about it, but I'm a little bit upset for him. But they want to make it that it's a reboot, even though there's still an active Child's Play TV show and movie series going on. So I get it. And getting Mark Hamill, he's basically like the Jack Nicholson of voice actors. The best voice actor around. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it. But I don't know. Something about the remake or this new Child's Play with it being an artificially intelligent doll, more of a computer than a doll. I like the way the old doll worked. It was just You didn't necessarily pull a string. It just one of them old dolls from the 80s that talked. You know, we all had them growing up. So I didn't have no computer doll. So I don't know. Yes, saw that, but haven't seen much of the Chucky. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I would say if you haven't seen them, I can't find my copy of Child's Play 2, man. I don't know where it's at, but I see. Yeah, the trailer I've seen was really didn't reveal too much, and then at the end of it, it revealed this big scene that's not even in Child's Play 1. So they're definitely going in a different direction. I give them credit that they're just going to take the concept and make what they want of it. You hear a dog complaining in the other room. She wants all my rice, and she's not going to get it. She wants every piece. Not going to get all my rice. You're going to get some of it. Huh. And get some of my rice, not all. I give away some, not all. So I'll do a little discussion on the Child's Play movies. Actress Susan Sarandon. She was married to a guy named Chris Sarandon, and that's who's in Child's Play. So it's the guy that Susan Sarandon got her name from, because he's not really known for too much else. There's Chris Sarandon. He plays a cop. And then there's a little boy in it, played by Alex Vincent, and a mother, and she can't afford the doll, so she goes and buys it in the back alley, and the doll turns out to be possessed, and blah, 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 blah. The first one's a very dark movie. Child's Play 2 is also a very dark movie, and I happen to really enjoy Child's Play 2. Well, I can't find the DVD for it. I don't know. I gotta find a new one. So, and then Child's Play 3 gets some bad rap, but I really enjoy that one. I really do. But anyway, I think we'd stopped all the live streaming. Might do a commentary in a little while. Oh yeah, he's still there. Someone popped off and then on, so I didn't know. Let me set this up a little bit better. Yeah, let's discuss the Child's Play ones. Child's Play 2 has it's a lot more about the doll making industry, toy making industry. So I really liked Child's Play 2 quite a lot. I always like how they put that real dynamic of the toy industry talk in the beginning of Child's Play 2 and 3. That's some of my favorite scenes in all of horror history. Well, this has been a long live stream, everybody. I'm going to shut it down, and I'm going to start up another one in a little while. Charge the battery, as they say. Love you all, and thank you so much, all the positive interactions on this channel. And I'll sign off for right now. Shalom.